How's it rockin', Dween Nation? You're listening to the Dween Sports Podcast. We're about to get underway. But before you give us a listen, we'd love if you could like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are posting weekly sports content, and we want to build up the brand that is Dween Sports. Thank you all, and enjoy.
Welcome in, Dween Nation. This is your host, Justin Pies, alongside Janoah Agudelo, and we're here to talk about Week 12 NFL game predictions, rapid fire style, as you guys know how we roll here at Dween Sports. Excited to do it. See if I can beat my time from last week. I did pretty good in our game predictions last week, and as our numbers, we evened out this week. I don't know if you know. Now we're both tied somehow through 11 weeks. Our game predictions are even. I believe we've got 108 correct picks and 58 wrong, which is 65.06% correct. So, yeah, pretty good. I think it's actually much better than what I've seen from like these major TV stations. So, I'll give ourselves a pat on the back, but we still got a long way to go. So excited to discuss those here on the episode. But before we do, how you doing, Janoah?
Yo, Dween Nation. Justin, this is an episode for all our Dween Nation viewers. If you're more of a gambler, you kind of want to pick the winners, you're not really into prop, parlay betting, maybe you're not into fantasy or daily fantasy, but you just like to bet on the winner. You kind of like that, that spread, that over and under. Who's going to win this game? You like to find the upsets. This is definitely the platform to come to here. And, Justin and I, we've been pretty good. Justin mentioned we're tied here on our records all season long there. And so this is going to be a very interesting week to see who kind of breaks free, who takes the lead in Justin's eye standings. We are 108 and 58 each of us. So you can make the argument. We're over 50% here, you and I. So we know our ball here, Justin. I don't think anybody can hit this high as us here unless you're like from the future or something like that. But 65% is really good. I mean, some people don't even hit 50. So definitely, we're the platform to come to. I like to toot our own horn here at Dween Sports. So I'm very confident that we're gonna have another great week.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to get down to it. Are you ready to start my timer?
Yes, I'll count you down right now. So you ready?
Let's do it.
Perfect. 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right, I was 11-3 last week. I'm going to do even better this week. We start with Pittsburgh at Cleveland. This is actually one of the hardest picks I have this week, but I'm going to go with the Steelers to continue their hot streak and get a big victory on the road. Minnesota plays Chicago on Sunday. I think Chicago pulls off the upset at home. Then we got the Lions at the Colts. I think also will be somewhat of a close game, but the Lions win. We got the Patriots at the Dolphins. Go Dolphins. They're going to get the victory. The Buccaneers at the Giants. I want to say DeVito does it, but he will not. Tampa Bay gets the victory there. Dallas at Washington. Dallas is toast. Washington gets the victory. Kansas City's mad. They play the Panthers. Kansas City wins. Tennessee at Houston. Houston gets the victory, but doesn't cover that 8-point spread. Then we got Denver at the Vegas Raiders. Denver gets the victory there. Then we got the Niners at Green Bay. And in my game of the week, and I'm going to go with the Packers to win at home in Lambeau. Then we got the Cardinals at the Seahawks in a pick'em game. I'm going to go with the Cardinals to get the victory there on the road. Then we got the Eagles at the Rams. This is another tough game, but I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles to stay in the race for the number one seed in the NFC. And then we end on Monday night, the Harbaugh Bowl, the Ravens at the Chargers, but I'm going to go with the Ravens to win on the road.
Okay, Justin, wow. 1 minute and 13 seconds there. Not bad.
Okay.
1 minute 13. I'll go ahead and do mine, and we'll get right into it. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, I am ready. Tell me when you're ready.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right. We go to Thursday night where Cleveland hosts the Steelers. Give me Cleveland on an upset. We go to Chicago where they dominate Minnesota. Give me the Bears. We go to Indianapolis where another upset happens. Are you kidding me? Give me the Colts. We go to Miami where they dominate New England. We go to New York where Tampa Bay, comes off their bye week. Give me the Buccaneers to win last-second field goal. We go to Washington. The Commanders dominate the Cowboys. We go to Carolina where they host the champs. Give me the Chiefs after the first loss. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. We go to Houston where my beloved Texans host the Titans. It's a little bit closer than we think. Give me my Texans on a landslide. We go to Vegas where this could be a little bit of a shootout, I would say. I know the Vegas Raiders are kind of down bad, but give me the Broncos to escape with the victory. We go to Green Bay where I don't know how to pick this game here, but give me the 49ers. They need a victory. Hopefully Kittle can return. We go to Seattle there where they host the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals dominate there in Seattle. And then Sunday Night Football. LA hosts Philadelphia. This is a tough one to call there. I think Philadelphia is going to escape with the win. And lastly, Monday Night Football, the Hardball Bowl. We haven't seen this in, 10, 11 years. Give me the Ravens to escape with the victory.
Dang, we like tied. Wow.
Wow.
Minute 13, minute
Wow.
13. That's pretty good.
These, Justin, I think I picked like 3 upsets, so we're definitely going to be different on there.
Yeah.
I just feel like an upset is going to happen this week. It feels very week 12-ish where, upsets just happen there. Let me see. I want to get your thoughts first on this San Francisco Green Bay game. I'm having a tough time picking who's going to win this game. I was thinking San Francisco was going to win this game, but then they lose against Seattle, and then now Green Bay they struggle kind of a little bit in Chicago. And Jordan Love, I love he is one of my starters in one of our main leagues. But how do you kind of pick this game? And you really are you strong in believing that Green Bay is going to win?
I am not in a firm belief that they're going to win this game. I mean, the Niners normally are the poppies of the Green Bay Packers. At least in the playoffs, we've seen it be that way. It's tough. It's tough, and I like to look at where I see the Niners, winning this game. Obviously, Kittle is coming back. Another week for McCaffrey back in the offense. And also, they're coming off a loss, and I feel like the best learning you can have is after a loss and after a failure. So they might be on their A game, whereas you can flip it to the Packers where they really should have lost, but they did, and they pull off it because, a finger touches the ball, and it's a blocked kick, and they beat the Bears. So really, with those two storylines, you would think they'd lose the Packers, but being home at Lambeau, I just think this is a game that they need, and I feel like to make that run that they want to make, they can really this game will stamp it that they'll make the playoffs. They're still in the division if they win this game, and with the Niners side, if they lose, I mean, they're in trouble missing the playoffs entirely. They're currently, I believe, in last place in the division. I know it's a very tight division, but they're in last. They're tied, I guess, for second, but with all the division records, they are in last. So it's going to be a close game. I could see either way, but I went with the home team as my tiebreaker. So I think that's kind of how I lean there. And then just another game I want to get your take on is a couple of your upsets. You have the Colts pulling off the victory over the Lions, which I think is super interesting, as well as the Cardinals, who I also picked. But you said the Cardinals win in dominant fashion over the Seahawks. What do you think about those two games?
Yeah, Justin. So first of all, I kind of want to talk about the Cardinals. I don't think we can ever get enough of the Cardinals. I think first of all, their defense is really good, and Geno Smith. I mean, up into that game winner last week against San Fran, he did struggle somewhat, and they're having some. I've noticed that they're struggling to move the ball in an efficient way there. Kenneth Walker did score a touchdown last week, but it's not the Kenneth Walker we've seen in the past. DK had 7 catches last week, but he hasn't gotten the volume that we've expected in the last couple weeks. But what Geno really is going to show up this week. He has struggled every other game for the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm not sure what Geno Smith we're going to get, but I'm very sure we're going to get 100% Kyler Murray there. And I do think that maybe they can control the football by just running it, milking as much time, and I think that's kind of going to be the X factor here is James Conner. Obviously, they're going to need Marvin Harrison Jr. to get in the mix. But I'm really confident this Cardinals team. They're in control of this division. If they lose out, it's really their fault. They're up in the division right now, from what I believe, and they're facing a divisional opponent. So there's really no excuses for the Cardinals. They are just also coming off their bye week, and then moving over to this Detroit and Indianapolis game. I do think this is going to be a shootout. I think Jared Goff's going to have a good game, but I'm not really sure. I think that the Colts are just probably going to want it just a little bit more. These are two coaches that are very aggressive, and I would say Shane Steichen's aggressive in more of a quiet sense compared to Dan Campbell in a more vocal, loud sense. But Shane Steichen can be very aggressive when it's needed, and I do think that AR has the momentum, the confidence coming off that victory against the Jets last week. And then lastly, I kind of want to go over Sunday Night Football there. Philadelphia and LA. I think this is somewhat of a trap game for Philadelphia. I did pick them to win because you know how much I love Jalen Hurts, but I don't know if am I like tripping here a little bit, Justin? This does seem like a little bit of a trap game. Maybe Stafford has a big game. I mean, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they are favored on the road by 3 points against the Rams. The Rams have been very good. I mean, I know they had a somewhat close game last week against the Patriots, but they have their full healthy roster set in with Kyron, Cup, Puka, Stafford. So they're dangerous. They're dangerous as any, but to be honest, they've been really underwhelming. That loss to the Dolphins was surprising. They didn't have anything going for them in that game, and that was a home game. And then with the Seahawks, was that the game Puka got kicked out of?
I
I think
believe so.
I believe it was. So I mean, they won that game, but they're continuing to have close games. Even with a team like the Patriots, they had a really close game that they pulled out. So to me, they've been surprisingly underwhelming. Their defense has played a little bit better than it has in the past seasons. But I just think the Eagles are cooking right now. I know that game third, and the Eagles have more rest. They were played on Thursday Night Football. Now they get a primetime game, and the Rams, their home field advantage isn't as home field advantage as you would think Lambeau is, or Lincoln Financial, or Arrowhead. So I just think that this is I could see it though. I could see people saying a big Cup game, a big Puka game, or Kyron. But another thing is the Eagles' defense this season has been one of the most underspoken about stories. They've been really good behind Vic Fangio. Their corners have been great with the rookies, Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. They've been very solid. And I just think I'm not saying they're locking down Cup and Puka because that would be wild to say, but I think they're going to limit or somewhat control them in this game. That's why I have Philly winning. And I guess the last game kind of that we love to talk about is the Harbaugh Bowl, as we both mentioned it talking about that take. I think that game's going to be very similar to the Sunday Night Football game last week with the Chargers and the Bengals, except I trust the Ravens defense just a little bit more than I do the Bengals, and that's why I picked Baltimore to win that game because I think it's going to be close. I think Herbert's going to have a great game. I think Lamar is going to be able to uh, beat up on that Chargers defense. Surprisingly, the Chargers defense has been very good, but I think Baltimore's going to have what it takes to score a lot of points in that game. What do you think?
Yeah, Justin, well, looking at this Chargers defense, they've only been able to really beat up on some bad teams there. Obviously, like I mentioned, I do think that Cincinnati is still a good team. But Joe Burrow was pretty much able to have his way late in that game. He had a bomb to T. Higgins. He had a couple touchdowns to Jamar, and he could have won the game. That pressure is really good, though, I would say. However, I don't see Lamar Jackson having back-to-back games on the road that are bad. I think that against the Steelers in the road, in that tough atmosphere in Pittsburgh, the weather's a little shaky. I would see why Lamar Jackson kind of struggles, but Justin, he is not only the MVP of the NFL, he's the MVP of fantasy football right now, Justin. And so you got to make the argument that I believe that he's going to have a great game to kind of show out there. Lamar Jackson is a fighter. He's a warrior. And most importantly, he is a Raven. So he's going to go out there. He's going to possibly dominate. And this is a game that for pride there. And you kind of look at that Super Bowl 11 years ago, the Harbaugh Super Bowl. Joe Flacco had his way on Jim Harbaugh's defense. And you kind of these are similar defenses, similar teams. Joe Flacco had a MVP-like performance throughout that 2013 playoffs. And, Lamar Jackson is having a, 2024 playoff campaign as well. And then you look over on the flip side, Harbaugh has that tough, gritty defense that's going to rush the passer, potentially stop the run. But they are able to be beat on the pass game. And so, these are similar teams that 11, 10 years ago. Obviously, this is not those 49 teams. If you look at that roster, Dewey Nation, both rosters have a ton of Hall of Famers from Super Bowl 48, the Harbaugh Bowl. I went with Baltimore because you just can't count out Lamar Jackson. He's a winner. He's the MVP, reigning MVP, future MVP. He's going to win back-to-back. And I don't see him having back-to-back games. That's just not what MVP winners have. Yes, they might have a doozy on the road. But, you can make the argument that if Justin Tucker makes those 2 field goals, they win that game, Justin. So it's not all on Lamar here. Granted, this is a night game in a stadium that has no weather conditions. It's a closed roof, and the lights are blinding. So, Action Jackson is gonna pull through.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting topic to discuss somewhat is Lamar, you would think, is the MVP, but Josh Allen has passed him up in the MVP odds in Vegas. So maybe it's Lamar's. He's thinking, hey, I mean, not that he's focused on the MVP. I know he's focused more on winning a Super Bowl and winning the division. But hey, now you're behind. You were all at the top of the league in that race just all season. Now it's flipped because of the big win from the Bills over the Chiefs and the Ravens losing again. But maybe this is that week. He's got to stamp it. You got to make his mark to stay in that race and establish himself as the reigning and possible future MVP. So I like that there. Dwayne Nation, those are our game predictions, rapid fire style for week 12 of the NFL season. Check out how we do. Go, look, on Sunday, you'll see it on TikTok. But if not, come back, watch this. Be like, oh yeah, Justin was right. Yeah, Justin was right. Oh no, Janoah was right on that one. Oh, Justin, no, Janoah. You know what I'm saying. And maybe you can do it. You're in a pick'em. Hopefully this helps you out, Dwayne Nation. This is fun to do for us. So thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share all of the good things, and Janoah, send us out.
Yeah, Dwayne Nation, this was our rapid fire picks of the week there. We went through these pretty fast there, so be sure to check us out here. And after that, go check us out on TikTok there. We'll have all our stuff heading in for week 12, everything you need to know there, and as well as here on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching. We love you guys, Dwayne Nation. And as always, peace.
Peace.